All right. Hey, everybody. Super excited about today's live stream. It's kind of a new series we're kicking off, which I'm really excited about because everyone's talking about this thing, this AI situation we have going on around us that's happening everywhere. And I'm really excited about our guest here who's going to help me lead these going forward, Matt, who you're seeing on screen right now, because when it comes to artificial intelligence and AI, I mean, people's blood pressure raises, people start to sweat a little bit. Some people are like super excited about it, but there's so much noise surrounding it, and everyone's trying to sell us some new AI-driven insert word. And anyways, I'm really excited about this. So we're going to be chatting about how to demystify this thing. What is this thing? How can you use it? Should you use it? Where can it help you get a leg up? Where can it make you better? Where are the pitfalls of this whole entire thing too? So that's what I'm really excited about. So that's why we have Matt here, Matt Goldman. And Matt's a really special dude. Matt has a really awesome history. He's worked in a lot of different industries, and he's worked real estate in multiple states, both Washington State and also here in Michigan. Been with Five Star for a few years, and I think you'll find when you hear Matt talk, he's a um, really thoughtful guy. And so I think that's really important when it comes to AI because there's so much hype surrounding it. There's so much noise surrounding it. It's going to be really nice just to have a conversation that's grounded, that's not super full of hype. And yeah. So, anyways, Matt,
Yeah.
thanks for being here. So pumped that you're here to hang out with me and chat about this. And actually, this all is kind of your idea. So I'm just so thankful that you brought this. And I'm really excited to learn together and kind of like chat about this openly and bring some good stuff to the agent community. So, yeah. So, where do you want to
Yeah.
kick this thing off?
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I try to be grounded in humanity and reality
Hmm.
first. And that's where everything that I do around AI comes from a place of like, we are what's unique, we're what's special. And I say we as the real estate community and
Hmm.
humans. Um, and so everything that comes at us in our industry, like you said, we're being sold everything. What matters, what doesn't matter, most of it doesn't matter.
Hmm.
And so that's where our conversation comes from. That's I help people all across the country implement AI tools and AI philosophy and strategy into their businesses. Um, and I was like, why don't we do something with Five Star to help all the agents? Because my idea is if everybody gets better, then the industry raises, and we can be at the forefront of that. Um,
I love it.
so, I mean, we can start with the very basics, right? Like, let's talk
Let's
about ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Grok,
let's go
Perplexity,
there. Let's go there, Matt,
Copilot.
because like the one thing, and I'll just kind of kick you off here. The one thing that I get like all the time is like, what should I be doing with AI? And
Mhm.
that's kind of like the starting for most people. They're like, I don't even know. Like, should I go buy something? What do I do?
Yeah. So, I think the first thing to do is start an account, log in, even if it's a free account, and do something besides ask it a Google style
And you're
question.
referring to like just ChatGPT or Claude or something like that.
Or Claude or anything,
Yeah.
Gemini, they're all going to do different things better than the other one will do that thing. Um, I don't particularly mess around with Gemini or
Hmm.
Copilot.
Same.
Those interact with Google and Microsoft in ways that I don't need it to.
Hmm.
Um, but ChatGPT, in my opinion, is where one should start. You
Hmm.
might have a different opinion about that.
Well, I
Claude
started
might
with
be,
ChatGPT.
yeah, I think that that's where it's got the easiest interface. And the thing to understand about ChatGPT and Claude, they're both just at their core pattern recognition tools, and they are designed to keep you engaged and keep you talking.
So let's
So,
let's go there real fast. So when you say a pattern recognition tool, you let me ask this question. So what it basically says is if I say, um, what should I do for how can I grow my business today in
mhm,
real estate? If I ask it this generic question, like, what can I do to grow my real estate business? It's going to basically identify you're a realtor, you're involved in sales, you require human beings to interact with to work with you. So it's going to just give me it's going to give me an average of everything that it knows about real estate. It's going to just kind of spit out an average answer.
Right. It's going to go and look at everything that's ever been published on the internet throughout history of what a real estate agent should do. It's going to give you this baseline. Where if we like dove in and looked at a week's worth of activity, it'd probably be a spiky line. But when we look at all of history, it's going to be this really lame baseline. It doesn't know anything about you. So
Hmm.
that's why we can log on to Zillow right now and scroll through and see 7 listing descriptions that all sound really, really similar because
Yep.
that's what someone did. Um, and it's also going to very likely make up a lot of information involved in that. Even if you tell it, I'm from Grand Rapids, Michigan, it's going to just include random facts that
About Grand
might,
Rapids.
yeah, or about
A
Grand
furniture
Rapids, Minnesota.
town. Yeah.
Yeah, like it has no context for you or your business or any of that. So when I say don't ask it Google style questions, this comes from a very personal place of my in-laws just left like this morning. They don't Google anymore. They just chat GPT and they ask it things. They use it for everything. It's a
Yeah.
little bit disheartening,
Yeah.
but and it's just like, no, that's not the correct answer. That's actually not your representative anymore. It was last
Hmm.
session, but there, I mean,
Right.
there's a 72% what we call hallucination rate with ChatGPT. So that means that 72% of the time across the board, it makes something up.
Something in there's going to be kind of like just, hey, I filled in some blanks here for you.
Yep. And it is, again, designed to keep you engaged. And it's a large language model. It's a reasoning model. It wants to have a conversation with you. That's AI too, if you just saw my camera move.
Yeah.
Um, and in doing that, it wants to keep you engaged in the conversation. The quickest way to end a conversation with someone is to say, I don't know. So they're not going to admit that ever.
Hmm.
So um, I think the best way to go in is start having a conversation with either chat or Claude and start having that conversation. Like ask it a question about, you know, what's going on in real estate in Grand Rapids. Read that answer, push back on it if you need to, or
Yeah.
build on that if you
Yeah.
need to. Just begin a conversation. And what I love about ChatGPT specifically is you can turn on the voice mode and speak to it like it's a person on the phone. Um, Claude has some issues with that, which I'm not a super fan of, but
Yep.
that's where I would very, very baseline start,
Okay.
right?
So just start chatting with it, get comfortable asking questions, get comfortable challenging it, questioning
Mhm.
it, working with it.
And it
Okay.
will push back. Like when you push back on it, it will usually say, ah, you got me. You're right. That's actually not what I meant by that. Um, and then from there, once you get comfortable with it, all of that is for you to build the muscle of
Yeah.
working with this machine. And I want to put a blanket statement out here for most of the things that I feel like we're going to talk about, Paul, and how we build this entire thing out is really about helping agents build the muscle.
Hmm.
Because in 3 to 5 years, maybe
Hmm.
even sooner, the way this is moving,
Yeah.
it will be integrated in everything. Where I don't think you're going to have a decision of whether or not you want to adopt AI. It will be adopted for you in
It'll be
some
built
way.
into everything you're touching.
Yep. And that's Apple just had their big
Yeah.
release that they
Yeah.
do, and
Yep.
they upgraded Siri. But one of the upgrades in Siri is that you now get to choose what LLM is backing your Siri. So automatically
Interesting.
Gemini, but you can go in there and choose ChatGPT or Claude or whatever you want. So just like these have become commonplace, and it's
Yeah.
very difficult to do your job without one,
Hmm.
if not impossible. The same thing will happen with AI in
I
three to
think
five years.
one way to look at this with AI, Matt, is like you think back to some of these things that have changed. I am with you on that. I do believe that while there's a lot of hype surrounding it right now and like a lot of IPOs going on with like companies going public over the AI and everyone's talking about how it's all this crazy stuff going on. I do believe at the end of the day, um, just like we had a dot-com bubble burst, I think there's going to be a little bit of that here, but I think the dot-com changed our world forever. And so
Mhm.
while there's a lot of hype surrounding AI right now, I don't think it's going anywhere. I think it's going to stay here. The hype might settle for a minute, but it's going to keep going like this upward and onward.
Hmm.
I agree with you completely. I think that it's I think AI is probably as profound as the internet itself.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's going to change how we interact with the
Yeah,
internet itself.
yeah,
And I 100% agree. Like, this is
yeah.
all really exciting and everything's happening so quickly. And there are new tools and news articles being thrown at us literally daily that change the entire game. Um, but it will
But
even
with all
out.
that said, I like what you how you put it though, Matt. It's a muscle you're training right now. Just like when we first started using PDFs, just like when we started using Loop and SkySlope and all these other tools,
Mhm.
they start out being a little awkward, a little bit like, I don't know what I'm doing around here, but now it's second nature for you. I remember Sue Prinz actually, when we launched Loop in probably 2012, like 13 years ago, 14 years ago, we launched some, it was a long time ago we launched Loop. And we literally switched the whole company overnight onto Loop. We did not run a paper system and a virtual system. We just said
Oh,
we're
wow.
switching. And we got a lot of pushback on that. But I will tell you, Sue Prinz, great realtor at this company, she was hesitant, but then she went on vacation and she was sitting on the beach and she called us. She was like, guys, I just negotiated 3 offers, got all the signatures while from my iPad while I was sitting on the beach. And she's like, that was like the moment where she's like, aha,
Yeah.
I don't have to drive into town to go to a Kinko's to find a fax machine. I don't have to beg the hotel I'm staying at to print something for me.
Hmm.
And so I think that a lot of us are going to have that aha moment. And that's, I think, where we're heading with this conversation is you have to begin chatting with it and engaging with it so you can have that aha moment so you can see, okay, here's the puzzle pieces. It's making sense to me now.
Yeah. And that's the promise. Like, that's the goal of all technology, is that you have a Sue Prinz moment. Like, that's
Mhm.
such a poster advertisement
Yeah.
for any piece of technology.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that we are going to get to a point where, everything will switch over to Claude or ChatGPT
Hmm.
or whatever. And you're
Yeah.
just going to be walking down the street and say, all right, this is my client. They did this. They want that. Write up the offer, send it over to the agent, send it to me to review, send it over to the agent. Thanks. Cool. I'm going to go
And
play
please,
baseball with the
and
team.
please follow up with a written for me. Thanks.
Yeah. Like, do
Yeah.
all, I have 17 follow-ups to do.
Yeah.
They did this. And so what I help people build is like one of those aspects. And I think it will become more sophisticated, more integrated into all technology. But I don't write any follow-up emails anymore. I just go in and I say, I just did this walkthrough of this property. This is the information. And I will have like the BSNA already pulled and
Hmm.
on my um, desktop because Claude talks into it.
It goes and
And I
snags for you
just,
automatically.
yeah. And so I'm just like, the information. This is the thing. I'm going to send you some pictures that I took at the walkthrough, write a follow-up email with estimated repairs and what a list price could be. I'm anticipating it would be in this range. Thank you.
That's
Goodbye.
awesome.
Used to take me an hour and a half, and now it takes me 7 minutes. I've timed
And then
it.
by the time you drive back to your computer, you have this folder waiting for you with the information.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just, I can I can build that for myself. I can build that for other people. That will become the commonplace, though, at one point in
So
this conversation.
So pivoting just slightly here, what do you think for those people watching us right now are going, this is the end of real estate. This is the end of realtors. Why would any buyer or seller need you, Matt? Like I love that you guys are talking AI, but man, I'm terrified right now. I think we're over. I think we're done for. This is gonna replace me.
I hear
Do you hear
that.
any of that from anyone?
Yeah, I do. And so I am personally a like fully relationship referral based realtor. Like, that's how I run my business. Um, I don't do any advertisements, and I will work with people, but I haven't at this point for people who want to run ads and do
Yeah,
interesting things with it. Um, because the relationships that we create and the referrals that are made from those relationships rely on trust. And
yeah,
that trust cannot be automated or AIified. We have to retain our individuality, our unique selling proposition. We have to stay in front of any AI that goes and touches our clients because we are the trust filter. We have to
yeah,
do it all. Um, and that information is out there. The things that AI is bringing to people, like my in-laws who just left, who chat GPT everything, they have all the information in the world at their fingertips, and they have for a long time. AI has just made it more convenient for them
Hmm.
to get it. Um, but that's not our, like, having information is not our value
Yeah.
anymore, and it hasn't been for years. Our
Yeah.
value is our relationships, our negotiating, our interpretation of that information that they can get. And as long as we can continue to showcase that to people, we have a job.
Yeah. I agree with you. I'm pretty strong on that. I think even now you're seeing some of the biggest companies in the world who've just gone all in on AI to try to replace people. They're going, oh my gosh, we went too far. We have to hire people back.
Yeah.
You're seeing like OpenAI who owns ChatGPT saying, hey, look, we might have oversold the ability for these things just to run everything without human beings.
Yeah.
And another thing I want to encourage people with when it comes to this topic is like, guys, if every single person you know uses AI, which is probably the future here, then what differentiates you?
Right.
The people staring back at you right now, like you are what's going to differentiate you. It's always going to remain the same way. People will always differentiate themselves. People had the fear back when the MLS first went from little cards you would dig through at your office like this, and you'd pick
Hmm.
out a card. When it first went to digital and they made the websites available for the public on the MLS to go find properties, they were like, well, there we go. We're done. Buyers and
Yeah.
sellers can get access to listings. We're toasted. Okay. Now fast forward to Zillow. Well, there we go. Now Zillow's got them. We're toasted.
Hmm.
And then fast forward to AI right now, right? And every time, you know what's really interesting, Matt, just kind of in my opinion, a little bit of a proof point here. There's arguably never been a better market to list a property than what we've been dealing with for the past 15 years because of the inventory of so low that you can
Hmm.
dangle a house out there and you're going to get attention. In 2007, 8, and 9, and 10, we had just in locally here in Grand Rapids, where I'm sitting now, we had an average of 16,000, 15,000 listings in the market any given day.
My God,
Okay.
it's
I would hold
crazy.
open houses and I would be like holding petting zoos. I'd be like giving away pumpkins. I can't get a single person to come by the house.
Hmm.
Now but where I'm going, I'm taking you down a path with me here. You would think that people would go, if there's ever a time where you don't need a realtor to get attention for your property, like today's the day.
Yeah.
But in 2025, there were more homes sold with realtors, percentage wise and in total, than ever. The usage of realtors is going up. So
Yeah.
I would have to ask you, and this may be a rhetorical question, but the technology exists, the listings exist. They can put their own listings onto Zillow, but people are still choosing to work with realtors. And so I think that going forward with and when AI comes out, yes, we're all going to be using AI. Your clients will be using AI. Your clients will be sending you their analysis of you
Hmm.
and your work using AI.
That's more where I think it's going than them replacing us.
Yes. And
Yeah.
so we will have to be sharper, right? But I still think with such an infrequent sale, once every 7 to 10 years, someone buys and sells a house. This is something that is very uncomfortable and awkward and deeply emotional and personal for many, many people. So I don't I guess I feel I'm like bullish on the realtors being here.
I am too. I agree. And I'm also of the mindset of, like, yeah, there will be people that say I can sell my house by myself. ChatGPT can say, cool. Good for you. Enjoy that. Have
You
a
know, Matt,
great
I could
day.
ask ChatGPT right now to help me change the oil on my car.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it.
Right,
I'm not
exactly.
doing it.
Yeah. I mean, I will. You want me to change
Yeah.
your oil? I'll come over and
All
change
right,
it. I
come on
can do
over.
that for you. So, um, yeah, there's always been some disruptor. So this is my 13th year in the industry. And I mean, whether it was Zillow, their iBuyer program was
Oh
crazy.
yeah.
All the stuff about the buyer agency agreements, and there's always
Yep.
something to get worked up about in this industry. And I mean, not much of it comes to be really that impactful if you
Yep.
just do the real work of getting in front of your clients and selling homes. There's
Yep.
always going to be something happening.
Yep. Yep.
And we're right in the middle of that right now with Compass buying every brokerage and Keller Williams getting in bed with these people. And now Google is entering.
Oh,
into the thing. And there's in my opinion, the best thing to do right now is just to build your business. Start using
I
AI.
agree.
You can use AI to build your business, but just focus on your personal brand and building your authority in your local
Yep.
market because none of the
Yep.
rest of it is going to,
Stay close, stay connected with your with your people, your clients. If you know if you have that sphere, if you have those connections. But I completely agree.
yeah,
The
or
rest of it
build
is
your
just
sphere.
noise.
Yeah, exactly. Build your sphere, work your sphere. And I know that there are a lot of people that run their businesses in different ways, and I am not
Totally.
negating that in any way. I respect everybody who is watching this call and how they do their business. There's a way that AI can help everyone, really.
Absolutely.
My focus tends to be on people that want to be in front of their clients and be like the authority for their clients and earn
So
their
no, but like
trust.
just to play like the other side real quick here. So let's say I am a Zillow team, right? And I'm
Mhm.
just cranking Zillow leads. This would be a candy shop for
That would be
those
so
teams.
easy.
This,
Yeah.
like this these tools that are coming out right now would be able to set your team up with amazing follow-up campaigns to speed of campaign, quality of campaign, consistency
Hmm.
of campaign, the abilities for those people who do run those larger teams with Zillow or if you're getting them from realtor.com, does not matter where you're getting them from. If you're not using AI for your business right now, that would be something that I would be implementing immediately because one of the things that you see on those teams is the quality of follow-up from each person on that team varies. And a team leader is trying to get every single person to operate like they know we have to do
Consistency.
X, Y, and Z every time
Yeah.
for those numbers to turn for us. So, anyways, that's just a little encouragement for those team leaders watching that
No.
this would
w-
be like really primo time to spend some energy here.
And I want to be really clear. We'll ask you to clarify. You said these tools, you're not necessarily talking about different apps that people can buy. You're talking about Claude,
Exactly. I'm talking.
essentially.
Okay, so let me just go back to that real quick. That's a very good point. Every single AI tool that you see right now is being built on top of pretty much two tools, maybe three, but it's mostly being built on top of OpenAI's ChatGPT or Anthropic's Claude. Those are the two juggernauts. Everyone, if you're watching AI, those are the two kingpins, and it's Apple versus Microsoft, basically, right?
Mhm.
It's two huge players. And so every tool that you buy or every tool that you're being sold or offered, essentially someone's taken this existing tool, which is ChatGPT or Claude, and they've harnessed it, meaning they've put a little layer on top of it.
They
They've
white
dressed it
labeled
up.
it,
Yeah, they dressed it
basically.
up a little bit, right?
Yeah.
What they're doing is they're basically harnessing it. So in my opinion, if you talk with Matt and I and we have these conversations over the next few weeks and months, any tool that's out there, you can pretty much use ChatGPT like as a base tool and Claude as a base tool to accomplish. You
Mhm.
don't need to go subscribe to a bunch of different real estate specific tools out there. Now, if you want to just hit the fast forward button and you don't mind spending money, knowing it might not give you what you need, you could go buy some of those tools that are sort of pre-tuned, I suppose, for your
Sure.
need. But in the way that you have it written out, Matt, right now, where you just kind of did us that little like, voice thing when you're chatting with your AI after you leave your listing appointment,
Hmm.
that's exactly how I would build my tool. I would just you essentially chat with it, and it goes, "Okay, Matt, is this how you like me to do this every time?" And you're like, "Yes, please."
Yeah.
And then it knows that now, and now every time you do that thing again, it just knows, "Oh, Matt wants me to do this process now." So
Let
that's
me
what I
hold.
mean when I say that's what I mean when I say these tools, these things.
I'm going to show you guys. So this is one of the things. I'm going to try not to show you the address because I don't have a listing agreement signed yet. But this is so like came up with the CMA and then it drafts a absolutely elegant cover letter for everyone. And then it makes this listing proposal sheet for them that has the different scenarios of how much, you know,
Like if we get this price, this price, this price, here's your
right.
breakdown, net
You
sheets.
do these work, you do this amount of work, you will should
Okay.
achieve this price, you do this amount of work, you should do that. And then, but it spit it out originally without, oh, this is the one that doesn't have it. It doesn't have a disclaimer down here because I go through and I've averaged out all of the um, costs of painting and redoing your
Hmm. Yeah.
floors and all that. But I wanted to put a disclaimer on the bottom. It was like, look, this is averages, and we won't know the
Hmm.
exact number until we do the thing and call the people. If this were somebody else's tool, I would have to email them, wait for them to do the
Update
thing,
it,
make the
change
whole
it.
thing. It'd take a few days. I did it in about 3.5 minutes at 5 o'clock this morning, when I thought about it. And that is, I mean, yes, you can go and you can pay people, but if you can wrap your head around starting to create some of this stuff on your
Yeah.
own, you can do whatever you want. And I live in a world where anything is possible. Like
Yeah.
that's how I look at this
That's the
world.
mindset you have to have when you're approaching AI. I think you have to approach it with that. I'm going to be the one limiting this tool. That's what I usually tell people, Matt.
Yeah.
I go, listen, this tool can clearly do a lot of amazing things. You're seeing use cases around the world that are mind-blowing. So the
Yep.
only limiting factor on what this thing can do is, are you going to allow it to cook, as they say, or are you going to sort of put limits on it? And that's up to you.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's also, you see all these use cases and it becomes overwhelming. And I think that's where a lot of the confusion about what AI is for our industry, how should it be used, how can it be used, because you can do literally anything. If you can think it up, you can make it happen. Um, and so I really want to encourage anyone who's watching this right now who has, like, maybe you heard about this, or I have a full referral marketing program where I've taken the Buffini system and the Ninja system and combined them, where I just say
Yeah.
run the referral marketing system for July, and it pumps out to my entire database bespoke newsletters that go to people that talk about their specific interests and what's
Yeah.
going on in Grand Rapids. Like, if you hear about these types of things and you're inspired by it, and but you don't even know where to start, the first thing to do is just start talking to the machine.
Yeah.
Start that conversation with it, get your foot in the door. And then
Okay.
from there, once you're a little bit comfortable, and I make myself available, like call me or email me, Matt at grhouseandhome.com. Ask me questions. I want to be a resource for you guys.
Yeah.
This, again, like I said, if we can raise the water for everyone, we're all going to look better. And if all real estate agents are getting better, then that just secures our jobs even more for another
Yeah.
few decades.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
um,
Well, so where do we go from here, Matt?
well, I want to ask you that question because I know you
Okay.
have really bold thoughts on it, and I align with what you think. You
So
told me this idea, and I am like, that's exactly where it's going.
I think I completely agree with everything you've just said. I think that if there's people watching right now who are like, I just don't even want to, then don't. You
Yeah.
don't need to. Truly, you don't need to. It's like you do not need to use AI. You don't have to use AI. When I hear people say this is one of the most frustrating things that I hear. They go, agents are not going to be replaced by AI. AI enabled agents are going to replace you. I'm like, I disagree because
Hmm.
I'm so strong in how you're in these relationships. I'm so strong with how you're running your business, like with people. Like if it's true that AI enabled agents are going to just step in front of all of us and take over the industry, well, just newsflash, it's going to be about 99% of realtors before the end of the year.
Yeah.
Um, I think Zillow would have already replaced us. I think Open Door would have replaced us already. I think every tool you've ever seen would have already replaced us. It was that simple. If this was just about who has the best tools, we're all done for. And that's where I think that any of the top realtors in this company could attest to. It is not the tools that make you the greatest agent in the world. It is it's your differentiating factors, which are you, how you care for those people, how you support those people, how you call those people. What do you do when someone's listing their home and they don't have the money, but their windows are in horrible shape? Do you replace those windows for them and things like this? Like I've seen top realtors doing this.
Hmm.
And so I think that there's a differentiating factor here. I think that for me, what I think about this AI stuff and where this goes is this. I don't think you're going to work less. I don't think you're going to work less when you use AI. I think you will accomplish more. I think you'll still be putting in the time, but I think what's going to happen for you, those that are watching is you'll be able to do all of those things that you really wished you could have. You'll be able to do those things you could never wrap your hands around. Those things where the CRM that promised you amazing follow-up, the CRM that promised you to save you time, all those things, all these tools out there that have promised you that would change your life. I think for the first time, there's a tool because it can take action for you based upon your specific needs that you won't save 40 hours of work a week, but you'll accomplish like 120 hours of work a week.
Yes.
If that makes sense.
It makes perfect sense. And there's two parts of this that I want to touch on. One, you'll end up probably spending more time building all the stuff because you get deep into it and you start being
It's
like, oh,
exciting
this
and
is
you
so
see it.
interesting and cool. And I can do this and I can do that and I can do this and I can do that. Um, just to pull it back to a real example, like the referral marketing system that I built is these two systems put together that each month I'm supposed to be touching these people and sending them the
Hmm.
items of value and doing the thing. And for me, with my intense ADHD, it's just like, oh God, I don't even want to start that project. I don't even want to do it. And it takes up mental space. And then when I do it, it takes up time to create the thing and do it. What I have created in this took me about 6 hours to make the whole thing from start to finish. It's outrageously organized. The only thing now that I need to do is keep my database organized and add people to my database, create more relationships. And that is what you're talking about with
Yeah.
you. I can do the real work.
Hmm.
Making the stuff for people was never the real work. The real work is adding them to the database.
Yeah.
And I feel like I have time to actually do that now because I
Yep.
don't have to worry about the rest of it.
You know, Matt, you hit it on the head because I'll give you another. I'm going to piggyback on yours here. Sitting with an agent yesterday, and she's like, I really want to get my business rocking and rolling again. I had my best year ever last year, but this year's just really dragging, which I hear a lot of honestly right now.
Yeah, sure.
Um, but we talked about these things. We talked about the fundamentals, and I said, look, I need you to just download ChatGPT, download Claude. And it's not because I think it's gonna be this magical tool that's gonna change your life. But what I want to tell you something is this. A lot of times when we don't do the things we know we should do, it's because the pain of doing the activity or the procrastination is so great. Like for example, if you don't have a database right now, and I go, well, you got to have a database, Matt. You're like,
But that's so much work.
yes, right. So
Where do I
your
even
brain starts to
start?
melt down, right? You're like, but that's gonna be like days of me like scouring through 10,000 emails and like trying to piece it all together. Well, with something like ChatGPT or Claude, you'd be able to go, hey, could you just go through my email and build me a database, please? And
Hmm.
it will just rifle through your email. It'll create you a beautiful spreadsheet. It'll grab first name, last name, email addresses. You could even tell it to go look on Facebook to find them on there and
I was going to
and
say
grab
that. It will
information
scour
for you,
Facebook and Instagram for
right?
you.
And then please follow all of them too, and please like some of their posts. So where I'm saying is like, and I think what you were saying a second ago, Matt, is that like it takes that really painful stuff, which is the number one reason we don't do those things because those activities are very boring.
Hmm.
They're very unsexy. They're very boring. They're very like draining on the brain. And so our we just it's like brrr, we just like shut down. So
But
it
my
takes
God,
that
it's the
off the
thing that
table.
matters.
Yes, it does matter. It's the most important thing. So
Right.
what AI could assist you in what you were saying right now is it's like let it do that really boring stuff that really is just getting names, getting numbers, and putting them into one spot for you. Let it take that 15 hours of work you'd have to invest in that and let it get that done for you in 30 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, and then, like, yes, you will still
And
continue to
then
work the 15 hours afterwards. You just won't be working on that. You'll have some direction from having a
you know what
database.
you're spending
You'll be more focused.
you're spending your next 15 hours on exactly what you said, the work that actually matters now. The work
Yeah.
that's going to be so here's another way to look at it. You have $20 per hour work and you have $200 per hour work.
Hmm.
Building a database is $20 per hour work because it is just names, numbers, putting them onto a spreadsheet, organizing them. The $200 per hour work, what we're talking about right now is now you have that. What will you do with it?
Right.
That's your $200 per hour work.
How are you going to connect with those people? How are you
Yep.
going to build those relationships?
Yep.
Um, And the thing is, the hard part about it is that $20 an hour work is essential to
You
do the
can't do it without it. You
$200 an hour
can't get to the
work.
$200 work. You're
Right.
stuck at square one. And that's where, Matt, when I sit down with agents, it's almost every single realtor I talk to is still stuck at step number one
Hmm.
because it is such a painful. So what you end up doing is you end up kind of like just rifling through your cell phone. You kind of shoot from the hip a little bit on your relationships,
Yep.
and you don't really have any sort of real system in place to make sure you don't let anyone go. And this is another thing that I think we should all remember is only about, what is it, like 76% of people work with a different realtor the second time they buy and sell a house.
Yeah. That report just came out like a month or two ago.
And so what that tells you is that because we're all very shoot from the hip, and because we're all like, I know I got to get that database going, but I've got a buyer calling me and I've got a seller who knocked on, who sent me a message, and I'm going to focus on them. I'm going to focus on them.
Hmm.
That's why our business goes like this. Because
Yep.
we're forgetting all those people that know us. We're letting them forget us. And,
Hmm.
and I hate to say this, but this is the most honest thing here. We are all forgetful. We're all forgettable, and we're all forgetful. Your clients are living their own life. They are going to their own baseball games. They're going to their own birthday parties. They're planning their own trips. They're not going, I wonder what my realtor's up to. Let's be honest. And
Yeah.
so it's our job to figure
They
out,
are. I think they are thinking about me in that way.
well,
Wonder what
Matt,
Matt's doing right now.
but if you keep in touch with them, they probably will wonder how you're doing. And then when they meet somebody who wants to buy and sell a house, we're like, you got to call Matt,
Hmm.
And so that's the end game here is it's like, don't think of AI as this big scary thing. Think of it as this really cool thing that can like help you get those little pieces off your plate that you're just not doing because they're so frustrating.
Yeah. So that leads to something we talked about before, and it's what if there were things that you wanted as an agent who's watching this that like maybe we could give you the script for, or give you,
Hmm.
as you have called it, the recipe
Like what's a
for
recipe
this thing.
for example, Matt, you built your one of your recipes is this very long, like a very long recipe. One of your
Hmm.
recipes is your Buffini plan,
Yeah.
right? So someone else's recipe like, hey, I want this to make a CMA for me. So I drop in 3 or 5 comps and it knows exactly how I like to make a CMA and it whips it out for me real fast. That'd be an example of a recipe, right?
Yeah. So what I'm interested for people who are watching this, like, let us know.
So here's the
What do you
ask
want
right
to
now.
see?
Post your requests in this chat down below, and Matt and I will sit there and think about them, and we will come back on our next live stream, and we'll talk about those things.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. I mean, depending on what it is, maybe we'll make it. Maybe I
Yeah.
already have it made.
Yeah.
Who knows? Like, I mean, I really want to use these discussions that we have, and hopefully they will be live in the future so we can interact with
Yep.
people if Facebook
Yep.
coordinates.
Yeah.
But
Come on,
I
Facebook.
I want to have conversations about like what we need as realtors who are in the 5-star community. What do you guys want to see built? What would you want to have done for you? Like, let's make this
Hmm.
as easy as possible.
Yep.
Um, and there are a bunch of different nuances to how that goes about, but like, just start. Tell me what you want.
Yeah. I
Go there.
foresee Matt a cookbook, if you will, in our future here of,
Yeah.
of of people's fun little things they do, and we can share these cool little, hey, here's a cool recipe for that. Here's a cool, recipe for this kind of thing. If you're looking to get this done, hey, you're looking to build your database, check out this recipe for getting your database out of making database from your past Google emails, right?
Yeah.
These are examples of recipes. So we'll put our heads to that. But as Matt said, like, let us know what you guys want to see.
Yeah. And I'm gonna we don't have time to go over this entirety of what I'm going to introduce to you, but we mentioned at the beginning that the ChatGPT, Claude, all these LLMs are simple prediction engines. They just pull off of the thing, and there's an idea behind teaching what you are, who you are, how you communicate, how you interact with your business to your AI. So if we were to provide a recipe for somebody and there's no baseline information in their LLM, in their AI, it will produce very similar things for multiple people.
Because
And
it starts at
that's,
zero with everything. It just starts at zero every time.
Exactly. And so the core of my training that I offer to people is how to really one discover who you are as a business person, how you communicate with your clients, where how like not just your tone and your language that you use,
Hmm.
but how you really interact with people, explain trade-offs, deal with difficult situations so that your AI has all this information about you and your market and who you serve. So when you ask it a question or you put in one of these recipes, it pulls out something that you would be proud of and that you would
Yeah.
say like, "Oh my gosh, I could have done this. This is really something I would have done." And
This
that sounds
sounds
like
just
me.
like me. Yeah.
Right,
And I think that's
exactly.
interesting, Matt, because I think you're right. I think a lot of people, not to reopen the can of worms, but I think a lot of people, when they start, they go, this just feels so generic. It feels so like, the term you hear right now is called AI slop.
Hmm.
By the way, if you're wondering what AI slop is, when you see emails from like, I don't know, your local association, and they send out like a bunch of emails and there's like a bunch of check boxes with like green checks everywhere and like a bunch of long hyphens, like those are called M dashes.
Hmm.
These are dead giveaways for someone just like dumping it into AI and then just like copying and pasting out to the world. And I think I want to I want to caution everyone um to do what Matt's describing here, and we'll touch base on this again. But like you said, learn have it learn you, so
Hmm.
that when you do send this, people don't go, "Oh wow, Matt just sent me the
Yeah.
most giant chunk of AI bull crap I've ever seen."
Yep.
Because as we um as we evolve in this world with AI around us, we're all going to become very adept at spotting AI junk.
Hmm.
Like you're gonna see it. It's like when you start shopping for a Jeep, you see Jeeps everywhere, right? Suddenly, everywhere you go,
Yeah.
there's Jeeps at every corner.
The RAS, the reticular
Yes.
activating system. And you
Yep.
start, I'm so tuned into it right now that I cannot get away from it.
It's
And
in
it's,
Matt. Do you find it hard to read someone else's AI email?
I do if it's to me. Here's
Yeah.
the interesting thing that I've picked up on in the last few weeks. If somebody wrote something like, "Dear Matt, here is this thing. Here's the thing that no one's telling you. It's not
Yeah.
this, it's that." These are all tells that come up in
Yeah.
the AI world.
Yeah.
But I have noticed I was driving through to Milwaukee, but maybe a month ago now, and I'm listening to a podcast and I'm in Chicago traffic and the guy is reading a script. And I'm like, this is just AI. God, this was totally created by AI, and he's just reading this script verbatim. But I couldn't change it because I'm in traffic. I don't have
Hmm.
a smart car that I can talk to. I'm
Hmm.
very analog in that. And so I continued listening, and I was like, you know what? This is AI, but they are actually introducing some really interesting ideas. If I can get over that AI slop,
Yeah.
like, okay, this is okay. And I got some value out of continuing to listen to it, but it was a hurdle that I had to get over.
Yeah.
Um, but if somebody sends me a birthday message that's like, "Hey
Yeah.
guy, hope everybody,"
Yes.
like,
I see
if
what you're
it's a
saying. Yeah,
personal
yeah. So
note,
if it's like a generic email, like an informational blast, you can get over it being AI. But if
but
someone's
I got to work
writing,
at it.
yeah. And so I just think just have that in the back of your head when you start down this path. Because you can tweak these models to not sound like that. And I think that's
Yeah.
what Matt is really getting at is like there's some and we can talk more about these, but there's ways to tune these things so you do not just go into the world of just putting out like a bunch of Microsoft publisher pieces that look like everybody has them, right? Like we saw
Clip
for
art
years and years.
and
Yeah, exactly. Like we all use the same exact PowerPoint presentation for about 10 years. And we thank goodness we've left those days behind. But
yeah,
Matt,
there is. I run a every week. My Claude now checks, scours the internet for the newest AI tells and removes it from its
yes,
database
there you go. Nice
because
little
it's
recipe there. That's a good little
yeah,
loop it runs on itself.
there it
So
is.
I hope everyone watching I'm hoping that you're leaving inspired. I'm hoping you're leaving curious. If you're leaving overwhelmed, feel free to raise a hand as well, because
Yeah.
we'd like to simplify that for you. The whole point of this is to try to, pull back the curtain and stop the hype and really focus on the really practical ways this can actually make you a much better realtor and hopefully make you more money because you're able to do the things that you've held off doing for so long just because of the amount of work or labor intensiveness of it, and or just having to remember everything in your head all the time. So,
Yeah.
Matt, it's been a pleasure having you on.
This is fun. I'm
Yeah,
excited to do it again. And I'm
I'm
excited
looking
to see
forward to
what
it.
people come with. Like, what do you
Yeah.
guys want? I want to know.
So there it is, guys. Please put your comments in below. Ask us questions, challenge us. Come up with if you want a recipe, whatever you want, just chuck it in there. And we're gonna come back again here, Matt. I don't know exactly when we'll be back, but we're gonna do this regularly, right?
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
do it again. And I also we discussed like if people want to have more of a conversation, like let's have a happy not a happy hour, a coffee hour.
Yep.
Where like let's have an in-person conversation. Like let me know your questions. Let's figure
Yep.
this out together because we're all going to be in it together. So we
Yep.
might as well figure it out together.
I like it, Matt. I like it,
Yeah.
Matt. Thank you. All right. Well, with that, I think we can wrap it up, and we'll be back again soon. Matt, have an
Cool.
awesome weekend, and thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Very
Thanks for
generous of
having me.
you. So appreciate it.
All right. Talk to you soon,
Thanks,
man.
Matt.